Have you ever wondered how the interiors are made that you can see inside the buildings in the City Sample Project for Unreal Engine 5? These are not just ordinary cube maps. These interiors render truly three-dimensional pieces of furniture inside, or at least that's what it looks like. Today I will show you a complete pipeline that will allow you to easily recreate the same interiors. We will use the window material from this project, therefore you will need to download it. To do this, you need to open the simple step in Epic Games Launcher and install this project on your computer. Inside the project you need to locate window material. After that you should right click and choose Asset Action, Migrate. We will need all of these, so just click OK. And you must choose content folder of target project. After this we can close the City Sample project, we won't need it anymore. Now we are inside my project where I have created a simple interior using the abandoned house asset set. This is not an ad, but I will leave a link to it in the description because it's a pretty cool set of assets. Now I will briefly tell you how this material works and what we need to do to use it. In the description of this video there will be a video from the City Sample developers where they describe in more detail the structure of their fake interiors. The technique used to create these interiors is called double relief parallax mapping. Let's imagine that we want to render the room in which the table is located. For this we will need a cube map of this room, and as for the table we will sort of cut it out of paper, and after that we will create two height maps. The first height map will be as if we are looking through the window into this room, and the second height map will be as if we are looking from inside the room. This way we will know where the table starts and ends, and we can render our table cutout with a certain thickness. This is exactly the approach used to create fake interiors for a City Sample project. There are several restrictions that this approach imposes. The first one, the objects that we want to render should not overlap each other. As you can see, all objects have a gap between them. This is intentional, and it is very important, and you will understand it later. And the second restriction is that all room dimensions should be the same, so I have chosen the height, width and length on this room to be exactly 280 centimeters. The developers claim that they can render rooms with unequal sizes, but I haven't figured it out yet. Next we will need to enable several plugins. First of all we need Movie Render Queue and Movie Render Queue additional render passes. Also you may want to enable modeling plugin because it is easier to create room dimensions with this plugin. After that you can use Unreal Engine modeling mode to create some kind of room. Just take a rectangle, set the dimensions to desired, create perfectly cubical room and fill it with some kind of assets. Don't forget that I mentioned before that you shouldn't overlap your assets, so leave some gap. The next important thing is that you need only 3 walls, because there is a window in place of this wall, so it doesn't really need it. After that, let's talk a bit about lighting. I'm using 5-point lighting here. It is found by me in an experimental way that this setup produces quite good results. So I will now select all of those light emitters one by one, so you can have an idea of the coordinates. Okay, as you can see, they are all white. This is because later on we will be able to add tint to lighting inside room, and if you are using white light, it is easier to add tint to such room. Okay, we are done with the boring part. Let's talk about the most important things now. As I said earlier, we need to create several textures. First one is cube map of a room without furniture. As you can see, I removed all the furniture, but I left the lighting in place. And also you can leave some objects that are really close to the wall, and they must be really flat. If you, for example, have something like drawer, you can flatten it. To do so, you just need to set scale to this value. Otherwise, the door will be really distorted in final cube map, because cube map cannot contain three-dimensional objects. So, as you can see, all objects that remain here are flattened. This is important. After that, you should drag scene capture cube to your scene. It's in the place actors tab. I already set my. It is really good idea to have your room in world origin, so at zeros, because this way we are making other calculation quite easy, because we need to place our scene capture cube in the middle of this room. So for me it is 140 above ground. As for the scene capture cube settings, we need to check capture rotation. This way it will account that we are looking from this direction. Also, we should tick capture on movement. This way we can update a cube map by dragging this cube capture up and down. And also we need to select texture target. Texture target can be created by just clicking on cube render target, and after that we can use this asset. I recommend you to set it around 256 in size X. Also, it is a good idea after this cube map will be generated to create static texture. Now we need the texture of all the objects that will be three-dimensional inside our fake room. To do so, we remove the walls and leave only objects and light. We also add in a special orthogonal camera. To do this, we add a regular camera and then change it to orthographic. Camera position is important. It is exactly half of the room size. Basically, it is in position of a window. Also, ortho width must be set to room size. After that, we need to add level sequence. Let's save it here. And let's reduce number of frames to just one. And after that, let's select our camera and type here camera, add camera actor. After that, let's go to Window, Cinematics, Movie Render Queue, and let's click Render. After that, we should select our freshly created level sequence, and we must set up it in a special way. We must confirm that we are using correct levels here. Also, we need to set it in a special way. We must render it as XCR sequence. JPEG is no longer needed. We are using deferred rendering. Also, we are using special room output resolution. Also, as we are using orthogonal camera, we need to use anti-aliasing, but we can only use fast approximate anti-aliasing. I think that's it. So we are just accept this, and after that we can safely render our scene. After that, we can import our created render. It is located in a saved movie renders. So let's do it. And you should have something like this. This is the source of our texture. The last step is to produce height maps that will determine our cutouts, our textured object dimensions in a z-axis. I mean in a depth axis. To do so, we need to select all the furniture that must be rendered in 3D and click File, Export Selected. So we are exporting it as FBX. After that, we need to open Blender and import this scene. Before that, we need to remove all the default objects and import FBX. Now we are locating our project or any other place where you have saved your FBX, and we need to add 2 cameras. To do so, we are going here and just add first camera. Let's zero out all the rotations. Okay, let's set up it in a particular way. So location would be 1.4 meters in X and 1.4 in Z. We are basically replicating the camera that was set in Unreal Engine. You can render texture in Blender too, but you need to export all the textures and all the materials, so it is easier to render color is in Unreal, because you don't need to set lighting and etc. multiple times, just once. So let's continue setting up our camera. We are setting it to orthographic, and orthographic scale would be 2.8. Clip start would be really low, and clip end would be again 2.8 meters. Okay. Then we just will duplicate this camera and we will set it almost identical except for the position. This would be a pulsing camera. So rotation would be -90 in Z. Okay, our setup is ready. After that we need to go to output and make sure that our resolution is set to 512. Again, we are mimicking the camera that we are using inside Unreal Engine. As for the output, we will use black and white, and color depth will be set to 16. Compression should be at 0. This way we will produce more accurate depth maps. Okay, then we need to go to view layer and tick Z path. After that we need to create our rendering pipeline, or how it is called I don't know really, because rendering in Blender is really not my usual workflow. So we need to add render Make sure that in a render tab your color management is set to raw. After that we need to go to compositing and tick use nodes. After that we need to render layers node. We will use depth, normalize, invert, color, but we need to use color. And after that we will just add composite and plug color to image. Okay, after that we need to select our camera and tap F12 to render. As you can see, we are producing a very nice depth map, frontal depth map. We should save it. And call it front. Make sure that it's black and white. Color depth set to 16. After that we should select second camera and render again. As you can see, this produced inverted image, but it's no problem, we will fix it later. We will save it as back. After that we need to open Photoshop or some other photo editor, and we will hop back inside Unreal Engine and open building folder that was migrated from the CT Sample project. Here we will go and extract any random texture that represent depth. These are like blue textures in here. We will use it as a template. In Photoshop we will open this template texture. and also we'll open textures that we just created. We will tap Ctrl A to select texture, and we'll select red channel. This is a red channel, and just paste here. For the back, we will select it as previously, and we will invert it. Then we just copy it to the green channel. You should have something like this, so we are saving it as combined PNG. After that, let's hop back in Unreal Engine and we will import this combined texture. We will open it and select compression settings and set it to normal map. That's it. After that, we just need to go to our window material and we will create a material instance. Let's copy it to our folder just to make it more clear. Let's open this instance. In here there's a lot of settings. Some of them could be used procedurally, but we will need a manual room setting. First of all, we will set our cube map, so let's select our cube map. As you can see, it is already starting to get nice. Let's make our exposure a little bit high and change temperature. After that, let's select our interior color and interior depth that we just created. So for the color, we are using this texture, and for the depth, we are using combined. As you can see, it's already starting to get in shape, so to make it better we can increase number of steps to like 500. After that we also can reduce number of tile to 1, and that's it. We successfully faked interior. So just let's add some kind of rectangle and use our texture on it. And as you can see, our interior is fully three-dimensional and ready to be used in window environments to improve performance and create illusion of fully modeled interior. Okay guys, it must be really complex and my tutorial might be a little bit confusing, so I hope it was somehow useful. So have a good day. Bye.